What's going on? This is the Broke Genius, and welcome to the life of a broke genius. Welcome to my channel.
What's going on? It's been a minute. Just been trying to get stuff done, and honestly, I just been watching what's going on YouTube. Just guess hanging in the shadows, and I'm gonna be talking about some things tonight. I got some time for the shits tonight. Um, just wrapping up some stuff. I don't really have nothing planned for tomorrow. Got to take care of a couple bills, but I got some time for the night to talk about some things, get some stuff off my chest, um, and clear some things up as far as I guess not so much clear things up, but just to give my opinion on certain relevant discussions that are being talked about all over YouTube. Um, the first thing pretty much is that as far as just Kaizen, which is self-improvement, so the Japanese form of self-improvement, pretty much means every day do something to improve your life. Whether it be your car is dirty and filthy, take it to the car wash, go get it detailed or detail it yourself, and clean your house, do something to basically self-improve every single day. Do some push-ups, and then the next day, like for example, you start today, you do 10 push-ups. Tomorrow, try to do 15 or 20. Just continuous self-improvement. That is Kaizen. So I try to practice Kaizen. I am very mindful of Kaizen. It's something that I very much try to adopt for my own purposes from the Japanese culture. I've been to Japan, lived in Japan for about 3 months. About 3 months. I was in the Navy. I was stationed in Japan, so I know a little bit about uh, Japan. Now, as far as my self improvement, I have been trying to change some things around as far as my diet. I've I tried a vegetarian diet for about 30 days so far, and the reason I was doing it was to lose some weight. I kind of broke that diet today. I actually just I don't know, just felt like it. Um, I've actually even also for about a month I've been trying to practice no fap, and that was very very challenging. That was nothing surprising. I've actually tried that before, but that I was about successful for about a month. I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna try it for probably another month, maybe 2 months. One thing I will say, and I've already known about this from a health tip, if you are trying to have some type of sexual life, such as you're trying to, you have a wife or girlfriend, or you're uh, practicing sex with, you know, your significant other for whatever reason, if you're masturbating, you're literally wasting your life and your time because you actually have an outlet, right? You know, I don't see no reason for. I mean, I understand, but I don't see no reason for a guy that has a girlfriend whatever, fuck buddy, mistress, to actually fap off when you have an outlet. Uh, I was not necessarily practicing any type of celibacy. I just just didn't have any luck for the month, and I'd have to say that it is very healthy because I'd have to say the first week that I did it, I was extremely tired for some reason. And it was like I got like some of the best sleep that I've ever got. Like, I mean, it was like I was like turned like a baby. The amount of sleep that I was actually getting, and uh, how tired I actually was. And then the second week, of course, was just, I don't know, it was just starting to get really, really hot and heavy. I'll just say that. And one thing that I do know, because I do know about semen retention, I know about the whole no-fap thing, is you gain your potency and power when you do hold it in. Whether you doing no-fap to win a boxing match or MMA match, or whatever you're doing to actually practice some type of semen retention, when you actually do it, it actually is something that you can build your actual power. In the Asian martial art world, it's actually your sexual power or your life force, which is your jinn, is actually a form of power. That's why most boxers, they wait months without having sex before a bout to have that power, so they can just pummel their opponent, right? And have stamina and everything like that. And when you release uh, that semen, that power is released, and it actually is a form. And I thought about it. When you're having sex with the woman, you're unleashing your power, and that's why I don't really talk about too much things on this public domain. I don't really talk about too much on, well, I talk about more on my Patreon, but I don't go into my secrets, let's just say. I don't go into my secret toolkits of things that I know, because I even think that to a certain extent that that's more, maybe I'll structure it in my Patreon, because I do have some higher tiers on my Patreon, because that's something that you definitely would have to pay more for, because there is something called sexual power, and you can harness it, you can grow that power, or heighten that power and all of that type of stuff. But when women receive that power, um, you know, they actually, whether they climax or come or whatever, they take that power, that masculine energy, and they store it actually, and that's how you create, basically, from that power force, a child, or children. A woman has twins. So yeah, I've been knowing that for years. I've been knowing that for probably, I want to say, at least 10 years now, over 10 years. There's like books on it and stuff like that. But yeah, I've been trying that, and my house, I'm at the point where I'm close to getting electricity wrapped up. I'm about ready to get an inspection so I can get some damn power in my house. And I have to say that anybody that's trying to actually get into real estate, if you're trying to fix a house up, if you don't have electrical, you want to deal with that first. I Learn that the hard way. When you're doing a regut or a gut job in the house, like a full gut, the first thing you do after you sign the papers and everything, you get you an electrician out, get an estimate, and you fix that damn electricity. You get that power on, because it's just like basically, once you get the power, you get everything else. And that just goes with life. And that goes with actual houses and real estate as well. As soon as you got power, you can get everything else a lot easier. Because when your tradesmen come in, or if you even doing the work yourself, you're gonna need to, charge up your tools or whatever. You're gonna need to power up things. You're gonna need to be able to see. You're gonna, if you want to work on the house at night, well, you're gonna need light for that. You just gotta go with the power first. When you're first rehabbing, first thing that you need to do is get power. If I had to get in a time machine and go back, a year ago from now, I would be focusing on the electric. Wouldn't be focusing on anything else, the siding repair, roof repair like I did, and all this other stuff that I was working on. I would have been focusing on that electric, because I would have been a lot better, a lot far ahead had had the electricity. But it is a struggle when you're fixing up your house without a loan, using your own cash. So I'm not too hard on myself. This is the money that I use to fix my house is all for me. I am the bank. So I ain't too hard on myself on that. But I'm almost done with that. Um, I think this weekend, if I got my title, my Mercedes, because I was gonna sell my Mercedes a couple months ago, but I didn't have the title. If I get the title, I'm gonna sell that this weekend. I think I'll try to sell it, because I'm gonna just sell that car and then fix up my Volvo. I got a Volvo truck, and eventually, after I get settled in the house, I'm gonna buy me a nice, like, newer car, like something that is good to commute back and forth, something nice, something new. But yeah, the Mercedes, pretty much, if my mechanic if he's gonna buy it, I'm just gonna sell it to him. Where that was what I initially was gonna do a few months ago anyway, but didn't have the title. So hopefully I got the title this weekend. But yeah, I mean, you know, things are definitely improving slowly. So a lot of times it takes a while for the self improvement, for you to actually kind of, get to a certain level. I mean, it might be months and weeks before, you got enough saving to feel a little bit more comfortable, pay some things off to feel a little bit more comfortable. And it just takes a while. It is not an overnight thing. It's a process. So that is definitely something that I've been working on. Another thing is that, I've been noticing a lot of, like, I put a post up, pretty popular little community post, 4 likes. Okay, cool. And the post was really, I guess, resonating with people. And the post was like, and I mentioned this before, it was the meme. It was like, you know, a bunch of broke people, talking about other people is a non-for-profit business, basically. And I ain't gonna cap, one of the things I do notice, I get it. Like, I was gonna actually, I'm still gonna do it. I'm gonna do a video explaining the different tiers, the different types of YouTubers, the different, like, in YouTube, there's a hierarchy, okay? And, just like anything else, and definitely, uh, you got a lot of people on YouTube that I'll just say, and it's nothing wrong. I'm in that category as myself. They're just hobbyists. They're YouTube. You could just call them YouTube hobbyists. They do this for a hobby. Even people that are fairly have a lot of subscriber base and stuff like that. They're just doing this because they got some extra time. They might be, you know, just kind of bored. They just do this for a hobby. I ain't no different. A lot of people, even that's how they start. They start off as like hobbyist, and they have, like if you got like between 1 to 50,000 subscribers, up to 50,000 subscribers, you're just a hobby. You're just a hobbyist. You go on YouTube, it's for hobby. Now, I will say this: there is some outliers within that parameter, because you got people that have less subscribers than I have and make way more money than I have. And I'll give you the secret recipe for that, and you could notice it. It's called engagement. If you got people that are engaging with you, and then here's the thing, just like in the offline world, it's a popularity contest. I've never was a guy that give a fuck about what somebody really liked me. I didn't ever really try to fit in. When I grew up, if you didn't like me, we could talk shit. If you want to fight, we can fight. And I got in a lot of fights. No bullshit. When I was younger, man, I still came up, thankfully, in throw them hands era. If you ain't like somebody and if it was really, really compelling to you, if the testosterone was flaring, throw them hands. And now, unfortunately, the era now is the shoot first and ask questions later era, because I don't want to lose a fight, because I'm a bitch ass motherfucker. I'm a bitch raised dudes. So it's a lot of bitch raised young men that basically, just like a bitch, they don't really want to lose a fight. They'll pull out a gun or a knife or a mace or whatever, because they didn't want to lose a fight. A lot of people, when I came up, I lost fights. I won fights. I definitely won more than I lost. But yeah, you lost a fight. It was embarrassing. You have a couple options. You can stop talking to the person, or you can make friends, shake hands and apologize or whatever, but the option wasn't to go get a gun and just shoot somebody just because you lost. If you lost a fight, it is what it is. But nowadays, that's the era that we are in. It's the shoot first, ask questions later, era. Or if I lost a fight, I go get a gun and shoot you. So this what these young kids are, young boys, young men are doing now. Thankfully, I was in the era of throw them hands. So in YouTube, yeah, it's a popularity contest, and if you're a popularist, and you like being popular, or you like the popularity contest thing, you try to play that. But even with that, it's only so much money you're gonna make. Okay, so the average job, I'll just say in the Chicagoland area, the average job is about, let's just say, $40,000 a year. You'll be hard pressed to make that off of YouTube. Okay, roughly $40,000 is a little under $4,000 a month, about $3,500 a month. You'll be hard pressed to make that off of YouTube. You would have to make it with the combination of ads and whatever super chats or whatever that stuff is. And YouTube, Google takes 30% of the revenue, so you left with 70. So it's a math game, and most times your job or getting a job or having a job is more worthy or worth it to work a job than YouTube. Because most people, like that post I said, most people they don't make more off of YouTube than they would at a job or whatever they do for a living, and that's the majority of people. I said 20%, but I would say 90% of the YouTubers do not make enough money from their YouTube channel or their YouTube career. They don't make enough to actually sustain themselves, or let's just say they don't make more than $50,000 a year. Even I would even say $25,000 a year. Most people on YouTube do not make that. I'll say about 90%. Now the 10% that do make uh over, let's just say, 30 to $50,000 a year, I would say those people will be like more into the uh professional YouTube category. Okay, where they make actual enough money to where they really don't have to work a job. They could do stuff on the side, but they make enough off of YouTube to where, they don't really have to do anything. And then of course you have the elites. The elites are like, okay, let's just talk about PewDiePie and Mr. Beast. I mean, those guys make like, I want to say 50 to $60 million a year just off of YouTube. Okay, you could just say, let's just say, okay, even let's just talk about Kevin Samuels. He actually started off as a hobbyist. I mean, he actually is a blueprint if you really look at it. But most people are not going to put on a suit and all of that type of stuff. But I ain't gonna say anybody that actually tries to do that, more power to you. But I would say Kevin Samuels definitely probably at this point probably makes about $1 million plus a year off of YouTube, at least $500,000. And most people do not make $500,000 off of anything, off YouTube or in their real world day to day job or whatever. So I would definitely say, he's probably in that million plus category. So the thing is that once you are a professional YouTuber, it's a job. It is kind of like a job. You don't necessarily want to lose your job, right? Because that's how you make your money. And the thing about it is it's competitive as well. And people are actually getting into drama and beefs. The ABBA and Preach, Fresh and Fit, Saga. I mean, you got all kind of YouTube channels that they beef. I mean, pretty much one thing that I do notice as far as YouTube, and it just kind of goes and just to what I noticed, just it's not even YouTube really, but I mean, since I'm in YouTube, on YouTube rather, I noticed on YouTube as well. Once you start making money and noticeable money, I'm not talking about some behind the scenes money, because like you people really wouldn't know how much money you make unless you tell them. If they don't actually see it. When people on YouTube actually sees your YouTube super chats, right? They actually see your YouTube content, and they also hear you yelling out cash apps and shit like that. And then they also see your participation, because that's another thing. As far as the engagement is also participation. I guess you could just say participation goes into the live streaming. So when you got a lot of participants and you got a lot of people joining the dialogue, and people you and then thirdly, once the video is over with, um they actually see views. Like when you getting like 10,000 views, they will start to notice that you're making money. They see, and then they see the actual YouTube ads. They'll put it two together. This person is making some money, and this person is when you're making money, it's like the movie Belly, with the two dudes with I don't like that. The dude eating a banana. I don't like that. I don't like that, man. Man, I mean, and that's not necessarily YouTube. That's in the real world. Like, you know, um, people don't like to see you come up, basically. Not everybody, but people don't like to, you got haters. Like, I ain't done with my hater series. I'm gonna talk about some haters. You got people that hate, man, for hate is a religion, man. Hate is actually a power source. It's a tool. People use hate as a tool, as a power. I'm gonna get into all of that, but yeah, you got haters, uh, harsh critics that they see you starting to make a little money, uh, you got a little swag about you. They gonna start hating on you, and doing all kind of other stuff, and start criticizing you. That's not necessarily what I saw with the ABBA and Preach and Fresh and Fit thing. That's not necessarily. I don't really. I mean, I think maybe from what I saw, ABBA and Preach. And by the way, I don't listen to both of those guys. This is the reason why I don't listen to Fresh and Fit or ABBA and Preach. Here's the thing: their audience, to me, they're like a universal YouTuber. And I am, to a certain extent too. And what I mean by universal, they try to they actually go out their way to try to appeal to a wider audience. And it might be, even they go out of their way to appeal to a wider audience because they themselves are kind of like, let's just say, multicultural. If you understand what I'm saying. Like I'm to a certain extent I'm multicultural as well, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Most of my friends are black. Most of the people I know that I hang around are black. I'm really a loner, to be honest, but I mean, most of the people that I know that I'm around are black people. from a wide variety, whether it be hood black people, not really so much hood, but they came from the hood, and they came out of it or whatever, to guy middle class. Most of my upper people that I grew up with that are upper class, they don't even talk to me. They don't call me, they don't message me, they don't ask me how I'm doing. They just live in their little condos downtown Chicago, or their mansions, and then they make little Facebook posts about their family and their friends, and I mean, they're basically their family and their spouse, and that's that. And that's that. Like, I actually know these people. Yeah, they're millionaires, but they ain't asking me nothing. You know what I'm saying? But For the most part, yeah, I'm not a multicultural person like that. Like I don't try to go out my way to appeal to a wider audience. Now I'm very general. How I am online is generally how I am offline. But yeah, they're to me like they appeal to like a more of a suburban audience. Both of them guys, both of those channels. And it's like um not necessarily something that I really that appeals to me. Like I don't that it doesn't they don't necessarily resonate with me. And that doesn't mean that you know, I, I'm okay with networking with anybody. I'm okay with talking to anybody. I mean, I'm not one dimensional, but they're more they're more I don't want to call them corny, but that's what I kind of look at it. Like the most vilified word that I would say, they both corny to me, and that's respectful. It's very respectful. Like Fresh and Fit, they're very corny to me. Like I can tell that some guys that just kind of ride in the algorithm and ride in the analytics, which is fine. Um, they like the guys that if you ever watch a YouTube video and you you clicking it, you can't wait for it to skip ad because they trying to sell you something. That's what they're like. Now I've been preached. They cool. They're not necessarily as disingenuous as the Fresh and Fit guys, but I'm just not into. I'm just they don't resonate with me. Like they like some they both all of these people are very cool to a certain extent. Like I don't see anything wrong with them, but as far as like me is concerned, I don't necessarily, let's just say, I'm not trying to go have, a beer with them or go play golf. Like just, just not just I don't resonate with them like that. Not everybody resonates with everybody. So that's just my take on it. But as far as the beef is concerned, you know, it's like I think that what the Abba and Preach channel was trying to do was trying to point out something on their platform about, what the the show host Myron was actually doing behind the scenes. And it was, yeah, it was a shot. It was kind of kind of like just a jab at him. And that's what that's what they decided to do. That's what they decided to, take that jab at them to point out what they were doing. And it's been talked about before. I mean, one of the things about people that are channels that are really kind of like not liked, I noticed like the dude exposing the manosphere, or even the Grandmaster Troll. These channels, they actually are it's something to it. It's not, let's just say, let's just say if somebody is even lying, it's a little truth mixed in with lies. Like if let's just say somebody said, "Hey, the broke genius, he really let's just say, I don't know, he's really rich and he's pretending to be broke," which I don't know what that would make sense or not. But I mean, it's like it's a little lie mixed in with the truth. Maybe if they actually had proof and they showed bank documents and public records. I mean, you can't hide those things. And it's like, yeah, those things are what do they call it, doxing, whatever. And it's like, you put in people's public information out. But the thing about it is, like going back to the word professional in YouTube, it goes into uh actual business. YouTube, once you become a YouTube professional YouTuber, even before you become a professional YouTuber, because even people being, I would say, on the hobbyist level, as I talked about earlier, they'll still try to dox you, try to find out where your children live, where your mama live, and all that kind of stuff. And people with fairly small channels, right? So once things kind of like get to a level where you get above, and to the level where you're making a lot of money off of YouTube, you're making $100,000 a month, or better, right? It is no different if somebody sees some type of damaging information, they might expose that. All is fair in love and war, and business is war. If somebody sees an opportunity to seize market share, they're going to do it, and it's no different than on YouTube. And the thing is that those guys, they decided to do that for whatever reason, but it was already talked about. The guy, I think his name is Noah or something, on the Expose the Manosphere channel. He mentioned that it was people complaining about the Fresh and Fits rates as far as consultations and stuff like that. And how they were saying that they were selling you whatever course on how to get women and all of this other stuff. And it was, backed in basically kind of is disingenuous, where they were telling you something that they were, couldn't even do themselves. And it was like, this was already said. This was already kind of in a way out there, and I didn't have to hear anything about that from nobody else, from channel, stuff like that. I kind of been around the block. I mean, I've been around the world or whatever, just so to speak. I can see if something is like kind of people trying to like run a show and try to be like quote unquote Hollywood. I understand Hollywood. I get Hollywood, right? People trying to, fake it to make it and all that stuff. I get that. And I definitely saw that with the whole fresh and fit kind of show. And that's why I was like, kind of it's like, okay, this is not something I really want to watch or whatever. It's just not really genuine. Now I have to say, it is a lot of channels that are like that. It's just a lot of people on the internet cap for views, for money. Hey, to a certain extent, it's people that are, Hollywood. They try to fake it to make it. It's just it's no different than, I guess, anybody else, I guess. But the thing is it's definitely something that I saw. I I didn't have to. I wasn't surprised at all. But the thing is that people actually follow that. People actually have a huge following. They have a very good marketing team, and all of that other stuff. And they've got what I'm sure a lot of people to make that possible, right? You know, um, and it is what it is. If you can get somebody to spend $1,000, right? If somebody, let's just say somebody wanted to talk to you, like I do consultations. My consultations are not $1,000 an hour, right? It's like for an hour, $50. If somebody wanted to spend $1,000 to talk to somebody, to whatever, figure out how to pick up women, and they spent $1,000, hey, it is what it is. I'm a capitalist. I don't find that unfair or at all. If someone is able to convince someone else to spend $1,000 to actually talk to you know whoever for some type of said advice, who am I to say, oh, you why are you doing this and doing that? If I mean, I don't know these people, and it's like, hey, I mean, it could be $5,000 for all I know, all I care. I mean, if you are able to get that, you're able to sell that, you know, that's fine. I mean, I don't have any problems with that, and the thing is that that's coming out as far as what they charge and everything like that. That's what they say that they charge. And I mean, if you got people that are signing up for that, you know, it's working for them, they like it. Who am I to judge or say anything? I'm not the type of person that knocks somebody else's hustle. I mean, people. I know women that charge. I don't know them, but I seen the ads, and I'm gonna definitely get to that. Uh, they charge $3,000 to spend the night with you for 20. You got high price. They're not even that high, but you got quote unquote high class escorts. Their rate to spend the night with you is $3,000. Some is $4,000. I mean, that's what they charge. Now, I'll be honest. I mean, they might be giving you more than good talking to, obviously, but that's what they charge. Who am I? Who am I to say that's wrong or whatever, right, or anything? That's what they charge. That's what they charge. So I mean, it's a lot of things that I myself ponder. Why would somebody buy? I heard somebody pay a content creator $1,000 for a date, and obviously they ain't give them no refund, and they definitely didn't get no date. But they paid it. Um, it's people that have a lot of money. It's people that have it's millionaires that are on YouTube that are subscribers of probably even, I'm sure, me, other people. It's people that make a couple $100,000 a year, people that have hundreds of thousands of dollars in a bank account that are subscribers to people, subscribers to me. I don't know what they have, but they have it to spend. And who am I to say what somebody should spend or anything like that? If you want to spend your money, you spend your money. But I mean, the thing is that they were saying, as far as Abba and Preach was disclosing some document or screenshot that some chick that was coming on the show, they were doing the whole play, uh, you know, pay to play or whatever, basically, or actually not even pay to play, more like lay to play. And even that, I'm not judging that. I'm not necessarily judging that. Um, if you got some type of, I mean, that's old as day. Even though, I mean, yes, it's people that actually got locked up. That's actually how Harvey Weinstein, he's in the box behind bars, basically for that same premise. He was actually giving women roles in movies for sleeping with him. And it got out, and women, whole Me Too thing, and basically he's doing 20 years right now because of that. Basically, he has a production company. He can pick whoever he wants to be the leading role or whatever role in a movie. These women were up and coming actresses or whatever. He like, hey, let me bend you over this desk and you can get whatever role you want. You know, it's their job to choose. You know, if I want to do this or not. They want that role. They getting bent over in the director's office. I mean, you know, I don't necessarily have nothing wrong with that, because if the thing is that you have the decision to say no. I remember my mother telling me in college it was some women that slept with the professor to get a better grade. You know, obviously in the entertainment industry, it's women that are, you know, known to have slept with rappers, so rappers can do features for them, slept with rappers to write songs for them, you know, get record deals. All that type of stuff goes on all across the board. Even in corporate America, women sleep with men to get jobs, to get raises, to get better positions, higher paying positions. I mean, lay to play is all over. That's not that's not nothing new, you know. So I myself don't really have no issue with that either. But I mean, that's just me. But the thing is that that was what was exposed. It kind of made it kind of. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. It kind of made it makes more sense to me why they were getting like the treatment that they were getting from the women that they had as guests on their shows, because I think some of those women they probably slept with. You know, they probably already slept with them, right? If they're doing lay to play, they got on the show. So maybe they felt more entitled that they could actually, you know, go up, like the one lady went upside his head. And I think that's not the first time that's happened. And then they're very rude and stuff like that. Because a lot of times women that if you slept with them before and they know your intimate details, they kind of get more comfortable. So that kind of made a little sense to me, you know, why they were actually having a lot of those issues. But I don't know. I mean, that's neither here nor there. But back to the whole money aspect of being a professional YouTuber, beef is not really good. Okay, because actually beef and drama it doesn't really it could possibly be to both, like both detriment of both people involved, or that sword is gonna it's got a blade that's coming at somebody. You know, it's either gonna come at the person that you know, one it could be one sided. One side is gonna get the tip of that blade, you know. And it's like if you avoid the drama, you know, you can kind of quell it by just ignoring it to a certain extent. Prime example I would say is Kevin Samuels. He's pretty much been kind of really quiet about a lot of things that you know, they were drama that they were trying to suck him into with various YouTubers, and also other drama that of maybe things that went on in his life prior to his YouTube success. So you know, I would have to say that that is not something that is easy for people to do, to ignore, right? A lot of stuff, but I think is very highly effective. But in this case, with the Auburn preach and fresh and fit thing, they just kind of, you know, went ahead, and obviously fresh and fit they didn't fare well with that situation. They were the losing they were the losing end of that blade, you know. So yeah, that's that. But the thing is that when it comes down to the come down, drama and you know, business is very toxic, you know. But it leads me to another thing, and that is basically another topic: tricking. And I'm hearing a lot of people talking about tricking, you know, and that's what I talked about with before with the high class call girls and stuff like that. And my take on tricking is, I mean, well, I've tricked definitely before. Um, I think tricking is a multitude of things. Do I look at actually entertaining a prostitute or call girl, escort, sugar baby, whatever sugar, situation? Is that all a form of tricking to a certain degree? I would have to say yes. I would definitely have to say yes. And the reason why they're all related is because basically one thing I do know is that when it comes down to sex or relationships of some sort, a lot of stuff is anything outside of I'll just say a mutual beneficial relationship, such as you both meet a woman and you both like each other, and over the course of just interactions, you both come to a certain agreement that you're gonna take things to a certain level. I mean, obviously that's a mutual relationship. When you starting to go inside your wallet pocket, uh you know the I'll start with, I'll just start with just tricking in general. I'll talk about just let's just call it date tricking. Date tricking. You meet a woman that you really, really head over heels with, and off of the jump, you just take her to a very expensive steakhouse. Okay, in Chicago, they have quite a few of them. You take her to the first date. You really like this chick. You take her to a very expensive steakhouse, and the steak is like the cheapest steak is $60. The most expensive steak is like $280. And you take this woman to this restaurant, you order, your meal is about $130. She orders the lobster and the steak and shrimp, the whole trimmings that come with it. Her meal is $275. You get the bill. It doesn't really matter if you got, well, let's just say you both, you went out, you she had also some drinks with the bill. So the final tab is like $600. You just date tricked at that point. Now, some people say, I've heard this a lot of times, even in the rap world, it's not tricking if you got it. Meaning, if you have $6 million in the bank and you make $500,000 a year, you literally, that meal is the cost of $600. That's not that big of a deal with considering how much money you actually already have and make, right? So in essence, that would be you. It's not tricking because that's actually just a normal meal that you would have for a business consultation or lunch or dinner. That's something that you normally have. Um, I would say I would have to a certain degree agree with that to a certain extent, because that's actually your day-to-day lifestyle already. You can definitely afford it. It's not really tricking because in essence that meal is like just going to McDonald's, because you can definitely afford it, depending on how much more or you make than that, or just about. That's not necessarily too much of a big deal for you. But when you make $50,000 a year and you just got an apartment and a car payment, a car with the car payment, and all of the regular bills that goes with that and everything, and you're in debt, that meal is definitely tricking. Now, one or two things can happen from this situation. That woman would could possibly do what is called date rape. I mean, not date rape, dinner rape you, because that's actually a term. And actually, it's some people that it's women that's gotten injured, if not, or even worse, from actually the guy thought that they got dinner raped, where basically the woman did not necessarily give out to the guy for what he wanted, which was ideally sex. And the guy felt like he got dinner raped. He, went upside the woman's head and whatnot. I mean, that's happened quite a few times. All you got to do is go on World Star. All of that is on there. Now, that's the second option. As far as you would, in that case, you would tell your homies you wouldn't do nothing, but you got dinner raped. She dinner raped me. She took my she ordered some of the most expensive items on the menu, and she basically kissed me goodbye, or she just hugged me, got in her car and left after the dinner. Or option, whatever the other option, you guys go back to her place or your place and have hot steamy sex. Either way, other than if you couldn't afford that, I mean, you making $50,000 a year and all of that goes with that, you're still tricking, because you probably, most likely, if she was going to have sex with you, you could have went to Chili's and had a meal that was, for the both of you guys, $60 or less, and still had that same result. You still would have had hot steamy sex for the price of $65. So that's still tricky in my book, because you can't afford that lifestyle. That lifestyle, you actually can't afford it. Another type of tricking to me, and that's dinner tricking. The second type of tricking is, and a lot of times, let's just say date tricking goes into actual tricking, which that's what I'm going to be talking about, which is actually friend zoning, being in the friend zone and paying for a woman's bills, buying her stuff, trying to vie for her affection, and the same result. She don't give you none, or maybe even she at best gives you a hand job in your car. That's still tricking. That's definitely tricking, even if you have sex, because basically you're doing more than what you can ideally afford, and you're doing more than what she's giving to you. She's not buying you anything. She's not taking you out to dinner. She's not basically giving you anything other than what she already naturally have, and which is her body and sex. You're still tricky. Now, thirdly, and what I would say is tricking, and it kind of, and I'll talk about why I don't really like doing it. I've done it before, which is basically pay to lay, which is paying a call girl, escort, prostitute, whatever, to sleep with her directly. No date, just straight money on the counter, on the dresser, and then you get sex. That's still tricking. Ideally, I would say it's tricking because most people can't afford to really trick unless you get, which would be a low class escort or prostitute, which would be like $100 or less, even $200. And it's usually some type of very ghetto, very low class woman paid by the cigarette type, call girl escort that's in a hotel, usually in a low budget motel, and is you're paying per nut. So the thing is that's still tricking if you're just same thing. If you got same type of scenario, $50,000 student loan debt, all this other stuff. You got a car payment. That's still tricking because you really can't even afford to do that. You really don't have any money because you're in debt. But you're still doing it, but you're getting, you're getting a release, you're getting some sex. And you definitely can't afford a high class escort. But this is the reason why I don't really like escorts, prostitutes, and so on and so forth. This is my take on it. The reason why I don't, somebody 2041 to tricking and 2021 is outrageous. I blame the system. Yeah, and I'm gonna get to that. That's a good point. I'm gonna definitely get into the system of all of this in the United States, basically. But this is why I don't really like. I don't like tricking at all. But I definitely don't like even. I don't like high class escorts. I don't like low class. I definitely don't like low class escorts. Because the thing is that I don't get satisfied from an escort or prostitute or whatever. Because here's the thing, and I might be biased because I've had a few short, like long-term relationships where I was married. Before I was married, I was in a long-term relationship with a Olivia girlfriend. I'm used to having bare intercourse. When you sleep with the escort, you better probably, if you could, put 2 condoms on. I don't get satisfied from condom sex like that. Like when I was younger, I did. It was okay. It was actually great. I used condoms almost like a religion. That's primarily why I didn't have, to this day, I don't have any STDs. Didn't have children, other than the ones that I did have. But the thing is that at my age, I don't get off on condoms like that. And I'm the women, they're not gonna let you go bareback unless you arrange that, and you definitely have to pay more for that. And you're risking, the risk ain't even worth it, because you with a woman that sleeps with, you don't know how many women she sleeps with within a year, a day, a week, a month. It's not even worth it with all of the STDs that are out here and everything like that. So why would I even want to have bare sex with a woman like that? Other than, maybe, let's just say maybe a porn star, but even that's a stretch. That's even a stretch. Or, even random chicks, it's like, really, to be honest, you really, before you even have sex with, like, let's say you meet some woman tonight, well, on Monday, you better go fucking to the clinic, both of y'all, and get a test and get some type of agreement to where y'all gonna be fucking each other. If she fucks somebody else, the dude got to use a condom on. Some type of agreement, because it's been like that. It's been like that for probably, I would say, 20 years. A lot of people just don't talk about it. But there's so many STDs out here that you really, before you even sleep with someone, you like need to probably, get into some type of, have a STD report. Like motherfuckers are talking about, I need a vaccine card and shit. You really need to have a woman that, before you meet a chick and you about to get serious, I need to see your STD report. And it's been like that. Now I'm probably the only YouTuber that's talking like this, but I'm dead ass. This is dead serious. Like, before you even, like, nowadays, because there's so many STDs out there, you really need an STD report. I mean, literally. But back to like escorts, prostitutes, and whatnot. I don't get off on them. So why would I? What the low class broads in my area in Chicago? Those women are very, very highly unattractive. A few of them are somewhat attractive. A whole bunch of them are like fat as hell. And I'm gonna tell you, a lot of times in my experience, when they like look thick, they look thick on the picture. When you go meet them, they're fat as hell. That's a picture they probably took a couple years ago or something. And they look worse than they do on the photo that they're sending you online. So it's like, man, I'm be honest. If I did do it, it wouldn't be no more than I would have to have the high class escort. And a lot of the high class escorts that I see, they got fake titties. And some of them, a lot of them got probably even now the fake asses. I don't like that fake shit. I don't like women with fake assets, fake physical assets. And especially nowadays, you got these, transformers and shit. How would you know who the fuck a woman is if she got fake titties, fake ass, fake weave on, fake eyelashes? How would you fucking know? Unless you did a fucking and then they can get surgery to make a pussy. It's like, man, I mean, how would you fucking really know with all that fake shit? And it's just not, it's just a turnoff. I mean, I know the women are definitely women, but I don't actually know. But the thing is that it's just not really a turnoff. I like natural shit. That's just me. Like, I like natural everything. Men don't walk around with fucking fake shit on. Fake hair. I mean, it's a new thing now. People getting fake people getting like fake hair transplants and shit like that. But not everybody's getting those, but it's like men usually don't have no fake shit on. We don't walk around with fake dicks and fake, fake body parts, man. Men don't do that shit. But women, they find that shit is becoming normalized by, this damn, basically low class culture. And people are fucking sending themselves off and going to get those surgeries and shit. And they're like basically, I don't know about men that actually like that. I guess like to a certain extent they want to fuck, but I don't see myself wifing up no chick that got fake plant implants and fake asses. Some guys do. I'll be on Instagram and I'll be seeing dudes and shit married to some of these women that they look very good. I ain't gonna take that away from them, but they got definitely, like, one thing that's good about me, I don't know about other guys. I can spot fake implants. And I'm very good now at spotting fake asses too. So the women, they can't fake that with me. Like, I know, I could just tell I can tell by women, even women, it's women on YouTube that have YouTube channels. I can tell they have fake implants just by looking at their photos. And then of course on video. And it's like, why would you want, it's just, I don't. men don't give a fuck about no goddamn motherfucker. Like, like most guys do not give a fuck about no fake ass titties or small titties. If you got small titties, nobody gives a hell. At the end of the day, his like I'm an older man. I'm middle aged at this point. I done saw my nut come out as a baby. Shit. I done did everything I could possibly do to a woman, just about. Uh, you know, and I don't have to say, for all you guys that ain't never fucking bust a nut in a bra and had a baby, one thing that I like is like women that have like one of the best things since sliced bread is tested sampling the breast milk before the baby actually comes out, man, or even afterwards. Man, if I know I ain't the only one that like that shit, man. But you can't get that shit with no fucking fake ass breasts. Last time I checked. So you robbing me of my very sacred opportunity, to get breast milk. And then also you're robbing the baby, the future baby, of breast milk. That alone is just sacrilege. Um, and yeah, the ass thing, no nobody want that shit, man. That shit starts to look saggy after a while. Then they gotta go get new implants, and that that shit is a joke, man. It's really a sickness. It's really a sickness that's basically body mutilation. Goes into body mutilation. So a lot of the high class escorts, like the porn stars, I see them, I see their ads, I see their pictures and shit, and they damn near all of them got fake titties, and then a lot of them got the fake asses too. Um, and then a lot of these women have these fake ass eyelashes. That's a new craze, right? It's just ridiculous. And it's just, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Over 10 years ago, I been gave up on. I used to play Lenny Kravitz, American Woman, Stay the Hell Away From Me, like every day, like a ritual. I've been gave up on on a lot of women in this country, man. I've been was on like passport, and I already had a wife that I was set to marry, that was in Ethiopia. Well, she wasn't in Ethiopia, but she was Ethiopian. I was already set to get the fuck up out of here, man. Get me a wife, and basically import a wife, because I already been gave up and had hard times with women in this country. So, the thing is it ain't changed. My mindset hasn't changed. I'm more just trying to make this shit work, just to fucking, I guess compete. But the thing is that I've been gave up. Passport is to me is like the only option, really, feasibly. It's just so many women are just so lost, and then they're like it's a situation where they're like the Borg. If you ever watch Star Trek, it's so many women sending off other women that they're trying to basically get all the women to just follow this Borg hive and just swallow them all up, so they can just be these just basically plastic, eyelash wearing, weave wearing, booty implant, breast implant, Borgs that just hate men and toxic and entitled as hell, ultimately to become a human Barbie doll in the end, and crying and shit, damn near thinking about committing suicide because nobody really wants you, because your ass implants are saggy and you can't afford the $2,000 to $4,000 upgrade or redo whatever. And it's just like, man, these women are just like the Borg, And then it goes into the whole thing of the argument of even importing. Why import this, like, beautiful black woman from another part of the world to this fucking, Borg hive that's sucking all of these women up? Because it is women that have come from other countries, and they've gotten sucked up into this Borg of these women sending these other women off to get all this fake shit. And it's like it goes into the whole thing of prime women. It's not that many prime women in this country. The women that are prime, most of them are wiped up. Okay. Most of them are already, you look at their freaking photo and they have a ring on their finger because they got natural breasts, got a natural ass, and they could even be overweight and they're still married. Because they got natural assets that they know they have. And all you got to understand, all you got to do is listen to what guys want. A lot of times women, they don't give a fuck about what guys want, and they just listen to other women, the Borg, and then they get sent off. And they get older and they get miserable, and they wondering, what the hell, where did I go wrong? Because you got sent off. And women get off on that. Actually, women laugh at other women. The women that, if they sent off another woman, they go around their other friends and they tell them how they sent off the chick, and then they start laughing outside the presence of the woman that they sent off. They really, some women are real, mean and evil, and they get off on that shit of sending women off. Telling them to break up to their boyfriend and shit like that, break up with their husband, and then, they become miserable and shit. And then they start laughing with their other friends about how they sent off this, so-called friend that they thought they had. And it's like, yeah, man, the whole other argument is, why you even bring these women from another country in here? Just go to the country and live with them. So I mean, like I say, I've been gave up, but the whole, yeah, like me personally dealing with escorts, nah. Now the medium between that is, I'm all for, like, and this is being able to afford it though. Going back to, like, I'm all for what is called, like, it's kind of like having a mistress or a concubine. You have a woman that you like, and I think that certain women that, they might not want to be married, they might not want to live in the same household. You got a lot of women that they really don't want to really be married. Well, there's a in between that, is very fairly old. You could be a concubine, and the man still has to take care of the woman that is a concubine. A lot of women in this term, in this country, they call it a mistress. But basically, the man takes care of the woman's, whether it be a monthly payment or something like that, or he pays for the housing costs, and just looks out for her financially. And he still has whatever else he got going on with other women, or maybe he's married, and then he has his woman on the side. Like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that arrangement, because the woman I've already chosen, I don't have to go get no escort or no shit like that. And if I did do the whole escort thing, I just can't get. And another thing is, yeah, really, to be honest, I just don't see no point in the whole escort thing, because the thing is that when it comes down to it, you're having sex with the woman that's having sex with a multitude of guys, and then she's got a boyfriend or some dude that she's fucking, and he's skeeting off in her. So then, even if you set up some type of GFE experience where you're paying a little extra to go bareback, you're nutting in a bra that is getting nutted in by somebody else, and it's just like I'm just not into that. I'm just, be honest, I'm just not into that. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I might be biased because yeah, I would be okay with having like a few women or whatever, or even a bunch of women. But I mean, I just a woman is having like 10 or more guys a day. It just to pay for that. It just I just can't find myself to be compelled. It don't turn me on like it used to. When I was younger, I was fairly compelled to be okay with that type of arrangement to mess with escorts and shit like that. But I'm just I mean, like I say, I'm used to, being in long-term relationships and shit, bareback, I just putting a condom back on and paying abroad 500, anywhere between 200 to 500 to $3,000, $1,000 to sleep with her with a condom on. It just don't. I'm just not into it. To each his own. I'm sure guys, tricking hard like this dude, man, mentioned in this comment. It is what it is, but I'm just not into it. And the thing about it is, in closing, when it comes down to this whole, prostitution thing, the reason why I'm pro prostitution, but the thing is that the reason why I'm pro prostitution is because one of the things is that the reason why things are so crazy is basically the system is that prostitution is illegal, and that's why a lot of women are acting the way that they do, and men are behaving like they're behaving. They're thirsty, extremely horny. It's very hard to have an outlet for that. And the reason why is because prostitution is federally is not legal. If it was federally legal, like for example, I talked to a white dude in Canada a few days ago. He was very calm and relaxed. He was like, man, if I just want some pussy, I can just go through a brothel, get some pussy. It's no big deal. If you want some pussy in Canada, you just go, get some pussy. You go pay for it. That's that. Like, it's not like that in the United States. Okay. And women, pretty much they use the sexual access or lack of sexual access as a monopoly. And it is actually, it goes into a feminist actually talking point actually as well. That's a feminist ideology to use sex as a monopoly. Believe it. If you think I'm lying or making some shit up, go ask them or go read their literature and all that other bullshit. They literally, that's one of their powers that they talk about, that they preach about, using sex as a monopoly or some type of bargaining tool. Well, prostitution is legal. That bargaining tool is blown the fuck up to smithereens, so they can't necessarily use that because, prostitution is legal. Men can go get a release, and basically that breaks all of that monopoly.
Message.
So I mean, that's one of the reasons why guys are so thirsty and hungry for sex, willing to just listen to women talk about frivolous things on YouTube just to hear their voice and shit like that. I mean, I get it. I'm just as frustrated. And the reason why is it just that's the way this system is designed. That's the why, the whole prostitution is starting to become like the police are basically starting to turn a blind eye at it to a certain extent, depending on where you are. I mean, I know I've heard New York, LA is kind of making it, just basically a citation or something like that. And certain places is legal. Colorado, I heard the prostitutes just have to have a card. They have to have some type of license. I think it's the same thing in Nevada. But you got all of the other states that they look at things differently. They have different laws and ordinances about it. And basically, yeah, without prostitution being legal, pussy just be a monopoly. And unfortunately, depending on where you are, it's a monopoly. And I'm gonna talk about more about this. I mean, the thing about it is you have certain parts of the country or certain states where it's the dating market or whatever is it favors women or men. Like, for example, where I'm at in Chicago, this dating market favors women, because basically it's so many women, it's less quality women than they are basically men to go to basic. So it's more men than there are quality women, basically. So men are really, really thirsty in Chicago. So much so that they shoot and kill for literally for women, for a pussy. Like a lot of hood dudes, that's all they have. That's all they want. Like a lot of hood dudes, they sell drugs, commit fraud, and all of the other stuff, carjack, all of the other stuff they do, so they can buy fancy stuff and jewelry, so they can, in cars, to impress women, to get laid. And they just don't have no game. They look at guys that maybe quote unquote are squares that and think that they don't have any game, but actually it's a lot of guys that are quote unquote nerds, geeks, squares, whatever, got a whole bunch of game. Okay. Have even been on the other side of the fence and actually been, around guys or thugs and stuff like that, such as myself. So it's like, the thing is, what I learned is that from that is that you ain't got to do all that. A black man, depending on what you got going on and certain genetic value, you're very valuable. Because it's not that many black men in this country, that are healthy, and if you're tall, if you intelligent, and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of times men don't understand how valuable they are until it's too late, and it's like, doing all of this stuff and you don't have to, because at the end of the day, you're what I found out is you're trying to do all this, sell these drugs and do all this other stuff, basically risking your entire ass, literally, because you can go to prison and get raped, to try to get money and stuff to impress women, when at the end of the day, a woman will fuck a broke dude, a bum, literally. I mean, it's literally, winter is coming, and it's chicks getting their hobosexuals ready to go, so they can, have live-in dick. Because just like, I mean, I'm definitely gonna make this 18 plus, but just like guys want live-in pussy, it's women that want live-in dick. Okay, so they already got their hobosexual right now, sitting on the couch or sitting in a bedroom, eating up all of the kids' snacks, getting free child care, You know, that's the nice part of it. I ain't gonna talk about the negative shit that goes with that, but we all know about those stories. But the thing is that yeah, they already got their homosexuals lined up, in-house penis, you know, and they're gonna be fine when the winter roll around, you know. You know, maybe he could, if the heat go out, he can go work on the furnace. You know, baby, because homosexual, not all of them, but some of them are pretty good maintenance men, you know. Hint, hint, wink, wink. But yeah, I mean, the thing is that you're trying to do all this shit to risk your entire health, your entire hide and ass, trying to do all these things and then get risking prison and jail, when at the end of the day a woman will sleep with you even if you ain't got no money, even if you're broke. And trust me, I've been broke my entire life. I have never been rich. And technically, right, if you got to get money to sleep with women or get women, I shouldn't have never gotten any pussy. I should have never got the pussy that I've gotten in my life, and I've never been rich. And I don't believe, if I've talked about it many times on my channel, it's you either rich or you broke or you poor. And I've been broke my entire life, and I've been around. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna give my entire, you know, rap sheet or my number count of how many women I've been with, but yeah, I mean, I learned this when I'm in my early 20s. You trying to do all of these things, risking your entire hide, and then you get locked up, and your girlfriend dating some dude that work at McDonald's, getting dicked down by a dude that work in the drive-through. And then you was doing PPE scams and PPP scams and all these other stuff and all this other stuff, and it got all kind of money, thousands and racks on racks and hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank account and all this stuff. You get locked up, go to the feds, and your girlfriend, she broke up with you, then broke things off, and she dating a dude that working at McDonald's drive-through. And you know, the thing is that, yeah, I mean, this is free game. You know, take it or leave it. You know, but you know, it is what it is, man. You know, I only, you know, shit 20 times 2. But yeah, I mean, this is I done talked a nice little dissertation. I'm gonna get on up out of here. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, close things on out.
I'm better than all of you, and I'm not tolerating anything broke this year. I'm not tolerating broke people, broke thoughts, broke responsibilities, or anything broke.
Message.